Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, with the man who knows everybody, Mr. OC, John Gutierrez.
That's right, Mr. OC. Welcome again, everybody, to our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, John Gutierrez, Senior Vice President here. And once again, we have an amazing community leader here, Mr. Julio Gudino III. He's a board member of the Hispanic 100, which is one of the reasons I've known him for many years and through our chamber. And also, he's the CEO of Insurance Services, Inc., and EVP Coastal Pacific Lending, and CMO of Tequila, Nuestro. Welcome, Mr. Julio Gudino.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having me today.
Yes. Now, we obviously have a strong relationship with our chamber and your Hispanic 100, and we'll get into all of that and some of the history that we have there, and great mentorship program that you guys have there with Mario Rodriguez, who's been on our show also.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we'll go into some of the stuff that you're doing as far as your businesses. But first and foremost, what we like to do is our viewers, we like to share with our viewers a little bit about who you are, and maybe share with us a little bit about your just a little bit of your background, and maybe where you were born or raised, your parents, anything you want to share about the family, and learn a little bit about yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, John. I was born and raised here in Southern California. I grew up in Cerritos. First generation here in the U.S. on my paternal side. My father's from Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico. My mother was born and raised in Artesia, California, from Portuguese. And my grandfather's from Terceira, the islands outside of Portugal, the Azores. So, I've got a full background and mixture. I tell people I'm kind of like a mutt, but, we love it. I grew up very engaged in the Mexican community and Mexican traditions. My father, we would go back to Mexico, multiple times a year, and family from Mexico coming here. So, very engaged in the Latino.
Now, was your dad a business owner or anything like that?
My father was a
Because
business
I know you
owner.
own a lot. Well, you're involved in a lot of businesses and all that, right?
Yeah, I'm involved in businesses, whether own or a partner in them. But my parents were always very entrepreneurial. My father owned many, and my mom and dad owned many different businesses, from car dealerships, body shops, upholstery shops, stereo shops, drive-through dairies, convenience stores. So I grew up with that entrepreneurial spirit and learning from them, the do's and don'ts, if you will.
Well, speaking on that, obviously a lot of our listeners and viewers are part of our chamber. They're business owners, they're entrepreneurs. What would you say that at a young age you learned from your father, or the businesses that today you still carry with you? What would you say is that or that drive? What would you say that is?
Well, that's a good question, John. I think the grit and the passion, I think, is very important. I think too often today, in today's day and age, we expect things immediately, right? We expect success, to come in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that anything good doing, I think, is difficult. And if it's going to last, and it's going to sustain, and you're going to be successful, I look at things more as a marathon more than I do as a 100-yard dash. And business, very far and few between are overnight successes, as you know, in your businesses and in your endeavors. Businesses do take time, and I think people need to have a little bit more patience and understanding on what that business cycle is.
It's interesting. I would have never thought of you saying more patience. You seem like one of those people going 100 miles an hour, You must have learned that patience somewhere, right? I mean,
I learned
your
it
mother, maybe?
From my mother.
Okay.
My mother was the backbone of the businesses. She handled all the infrastructure and the billing and the accounts receivable and all of that good stuff. And my dad was kind of the face of the businesses, and was always at 100 miles an hour, new ideas, new thoughts, new adventures, new endeavors. So the patience, I think, came more from my mother's side.
So that was a good balance, your father and your mother, huh? That yin yang, that's good.
Very, very much so. My dad was, very old fashioned, traditional, very aggressive, very just get out and do it. Hard work, gets you everywhere. And my mom had to kind of pull the reins back a little bit and, teach him a little bit how to work smarter, not harder all the time.
Interesting. Now, share with us a little bit about, where and at what point did you start getting into kind of like your own either businesses or investments, or what made you decide, okay, this is the route I'm gonna take? Because I mean, not everybody wants to do that, right?
No, and I don't think it's for everyone. And I don't think the other route, education, is for everyone. For like myself, I graduated high school, and that was about the extent of my formal education. I was not wasn't really into education. It wasn't for me. I grew up at a young age, always working in my dad's businesses, whether it be weekends, and then I think 12 years old, I was kind of running the convenience stores and the drive-through dairies on Saturdays and Sundays, and then from there it just kind of grew, and that entrepreneurial bug just was always there.
But I think also maybe at a young age, if you're working around businesses like that, I've always said this to my wife with my son who started working recently at Wild Rivers. I said, that's the fear factor as a parent. You start tasting the money, and it's now, hey, I need you to go to college. And, when you're in college, it's that sacrifice. You're not going to make the money your friends are making, right? Because they're already working, they're making some money, but it's almost like you'll make money down the way. By the way, you have to not make money right now, be on a tight budget, make the sacrifice. So could it be that at a young age, you're like, I like this. This is something I enjoy.
I think that's part of it. I think that lends itself to decision making, if you will. When at a young age, you're getting a paycheck, you're making some money, and things are going well, and you're making more than your friends are, and it comes a point where you're now making more than a lot of their parents were making at a young age. I was 18, 19, started some businesses, and then got married at 25. My wife and I, we've had insurance agencies and the whole nine yards. So you kind of at a young age, you start getting, like the feel of having the financial success. But I think it also goes back to, I knew at a young age what I wanted to do. I knew at a young age I didn't want to work for anybody. I knew at a young age, and I hate saying this because I think it's so important for our younger generation, but school for me just wasn't it. It wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I enjoyed. And I knew at a young age that I wanted to own my own businesses and work for myself. But I think it goes back to the patience of business. I think it comes with education as well. I think our younger generation today, they expect things immediately. It's the immediate gratification. They don't understand that it takes grit, grime, and passion, blood, sweat, and tears to be successful, to start a business, or to earn your degree, right? It just, that degree doesn't happen overnight either.
That's interesting you say that, because recently, I don't know if it was you I was talking to this about or somebody else, but we're noticing there's a lot of what they call the YouTubers, right? And they want to learn everything on YouTube really fast, get that, like you said, that right away success. So they're not wanting to go to college. They don't want to do the 4-year or the 6-year. And that, like you said, that marathon, right? Now it's just like, can I go learn it really fast? Oh, they'll pay big money to go to some sort of training or orientation, right? Sure. And then hopefully, I don't know what the percentage would be of the success for these young kids right now.
Well,
right?
I think the success is a very low percentage. I think it's very similar to business. What I think, the sad part of the social media world and the YouTubers of the world, you're only seeing the glamorous part of what they do. Pick any social media influencer for that matter. It didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of investment, working behind the scenes, putting together videos, editing, producing, creating content. Granted, it's, may not have taken them 10 years, 15 years. A lot of them are able to work efficiently and get that success sooner than later, but it doesn't happen overnight either. A lot of these kids think, oh, I'm just going to post a few videos. I'm going to have 1 million followers. I'm going to start making 10, 20,000 a month or more. And it's just, that's not how things happen, even in the social media world.
Yeah. I mean, and we hope that little by little, there is a good balance, right? We do have still those kids that want to go to college, and we still have those that, hey, hopefully, they do well if it works for them, right? The online. Because the flip side to that we hear often is, from what we're hearing out there, is that a lot of our kids saw us grow up and maybe went to college and got in debt because of the college, right? And therefore now they're fearful of that debt, right? And so that's why there's that, YouTuber boom, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's always a flip side. There's always pros and cons, to everything. But I think the social media, I think what the beauty of it is, it can be a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Whether you go the education route, whether you go the business route, whatever it is in life, I think overall social media is here to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think for the younger generation, I think it's something very important for them to grasp, but be able to control at the same time.
Yeah.
They have to be able to balance their normal life, their education, their business, and use social media as a resource and as a tool.
Yeah.
Not let it overtake their lives.
Yeah. You hear it? See, you young listeners, veteran entrepreneur here giving you some advice. How did you end up with, getting involved in the Hispanic 100? Obviously you're a board member there, but how did you get involved in all of that?
Wow, that's a long story. That goes way back. We're
the
do
short
the short
summary,
version.
right? Obviously, it's a great organization.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing some great things in the community as far as mentorship. I know you've honored several awards to big name, right? People that have been to your gala. So share a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
We're very proud of the organization. It was, started here, some local businessmen here in Orange County, one of them being Mario Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, John Cruz. They were the founders of the Hispanic 100. It's kind of a throw off from what we were all part of at one point called the Latino Coalition. And then we transitioned, brought it home to the Hispanic 100 here. They founded it. And I've been involved now, 16 years, I believe now, as a board member of the Hispanic 100. Since then, we've done a lot within the community, but something we're very, very proud of is our mentorship program. It's something that it gives back to the community. It gives back to, the younger generation that's doing the things the right way. I think we find there's always a lot of tools and resources for those kids that are maybe going off the beaten path or making a left when they should make a right turn. And we found at the time when we launched this, we didn't see that there was a whole lot of incentive for those kids, or assistance, if you will, for those kids that were doing the right things, going to school, getting an education, working hard, things of that nature. So we created the mentorship program to do that, to reward kids doing the right thing, first generation Latinos, 18 to 25 years of age, that are in school. We have a mentorship program that goes from financial literacy to interview skills to business etiquette, through a plethora of different programs and training sessions that we do. And then we align them with a mentor. We do our best to align them with a mentor that's within the field of choice. So if they want to be a doctor and they're studying medicine, we try to put them with a mentor who's within the medical field. If they want to go the legal route and they want to be an attorney, we'll assign them a mentor that's in the legal field. So we're very proud of what we've done with the mentorship program, the successes that we've had. And since then, we've also launched the Emilio Rivera Forward Always Scholarship Fund that's piggybacked to our mentorship program.
That's right. That's right.
So we're very happy with the successes. We have a lot of now I call them kids, but now they're not kids. They're young adults and young men, young ladies who have graduated the Georgetown universities, the USCs, have gone on to have great careers now, that are executives at large Fortune 500 companies, that are political consultants. So it's nice to see these young adults at the time now flourish and being able to be successful in their own right and in their own sphere of influence.
Paul, you had a question. I'm sorry.
I did. Somebody wanted to know, you've got at least 3 that we listed here, separate businesses, insurance, lending, and even it sounds like a tequila company here. And you hinted there might even be more. How do you handle multiple businesses? Most of us struggle to have.
I don't know if you guys know, but he's AKA Christian Bale, Batman.
It must be.
And you got to be Batman to own and run and be involved in so many things.
I interviewed another guy years ago, and he had like a half a dozen different businesses that he was actively involved in, not just an investor in. And I really was fascinated because it takes so much time to run one business. How do you run 3, 4, 5 multiple businesses?
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Okay. All right.
I think, like I tell people, I have to have a lot of businesses to be successful at one. No, but listen, it's very difficult, right? And I think most entrepreneurs have their hands in multiple things. I get bored very easy, unfortunately.
No, I would have never guessed that, Julio.
and it's a pet peeve of my wife's, right?
Yeah.
She's always told me, babe, just, focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Or pick two and just focus on them.
Yeah.
So it's been a pet peeve.
Shout out to the wife,
Right?
for keeping us aligned. Because by the way, I'm the same way.
Keeping us in order.
Yes, I'm the same way. So
absolutely.
thank you to the wives for like veering us into okay, pick one of the 10.
They're definitely smarter than we are. But yeah, it is difficult. That's, you know, it's stressful. It's time consuming. You know, one of the battles at home is you're always on your phone. You know.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, my businesses don't end at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
You know, client calls. I have an insurance practice. I'm a mortgage broker as well. And then the fun part, the tequila, right, which has become its own beast in and of itself. But the tequila, I came on board. A cousin of mine started the company. He's the founder. He's the one that did everything from
Nuestro placer.
Nuestro placer tequila, absolutely.
And I must say, folks, those of you that know me well, I don't drink very much. For my birthday, thank you, Julio, gave me a bottle of tequila. He actually gave it to me on Father's Day weekend, and I had it there because, again, I don't drink very much. And my birthday was around the corner, and I ended up having 4 shots of this tequila because it was that smooth, that delicious. And I shared it with, obviously, my brother-in-laws, and everybody loved it. It's a really cool bottle. I didn't even think about it. We should have brought one.
Why didn't we bring them in?
Look at Paul.
That's
Why didn't we bring a bottle of tequila for
That's
Paul?
supposed to be part of the package when they come in.
I don't think we would have finished the interview if we would have brought a bottle of tequila.
But it is a very, and I had the pleasure to actually go with him to one of the stores that's selling it, right? Which
Yep.
is the Northgate,
the
big one.
the new store.
Yes, the new store in
absolutely.
Costa Mesa.
Very, very proud of what Northgate did, and we're very proud to be part of their tequila lineup, if you will. So
Yeah.
it's been
And if
a
you
great-
haven't been there in Costa Mesa, what is it
The
called?
Mercado.
El
El
Mercado,
Mercado.
right? It's
Absolutely.
huge. And I mean, you think they're giving away free food because the parking lot is like full. They got tamales, they got churros, you name it. I mean, there's a really cool, like a couple cool restaurants in there, right? I mean, there's
Absolutely.
everything.
You can
Yeah.
sit at a bar while your wife's shopping, or you can grab your drink and walk around and shop.
Yeah, you
So
can walk around and
you
have
can
a
walk
drink.
around and have a drink while you're shopping. It's the best of both worlds.
So if you go to El Mercado in Costa Mesa, go find in Nuestro Placer Tequila on the shelf there. Support Julio because, you know, at the end of the day, as a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, you know, we don't put on these podcasts and these shows and these events just to have fun. It really is about supporting each other's businesses, you know, and you see a lot in social media. Like you want to help one of your friends buy the product, support the product, promote the product. That's really what it's about when you own a business. I mean, with your cousin here and you involved in this brand, you're trying to grow it, right?
Absolutely. And that's like any business, right? And we try to do our best also in supporting our business partners, our vendors, and our local community as well. And that's in part, you know, you have your business, you got to do some philanthropic and some give back as well within your community that supports you.
Do you have just one? Do you have or do you have an añejo and a blanco and all these different things?
Paul's really wanting to get into
very
the
good
tequila.
question, Paul. I think Paul needs a bottle.
I think Paul needs a bottle.
We need to bring Paul. Wait, Paul, I thought you were like one of those. You're a Michigan guy. You're a whiskey guy or
I
something. huh?
like all.
You like tequila?
I'm Irish.
You're Irish. You don't discriminate.
We'll do the brown man's whiskey or scotch.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, Paul, very good question. So we currently are 2 expressions. We have 2 brands. One's Tequila Nuestro Placer, which is our luxury brand or top shelf, if you will. We currently have a Reposado Cristalino, and then Turincio, which is our other brand. That we have. Our current expression is a Blanco. We are actually about 60 days out from finishing our distillery in Mexico, in San Julián, Jalisco, in Los Altos de Jalisco.
Los Altos de
Los
Jalisco.
Altos de Jalisco. So we're finishing up our distillery out there, and once that's completed, we're hoping within a quick time frame from there we'll have our gnome completed, and then we will complete our other expressions, which will be our añejo, extra añejo, blanco, and reposado in each of our brands. We do have, we've been aging our extra añejo now. It's been, I think, 4 years in barrels, French and American oak barrels. So the tequila is ready to go, and it's just waiting for us to package it. But we will be coming out with our other expressions here shortly.
So I learned something new about tequila. I'm not sure if it was from you or where I heard this, but people are growing the big pineapple-looking
The agave.
agave, right? and because
The
of
pineapple-looking thing.
it looks like a pineapple, right?
Well, it's interesting. They call it a piña.
A piña, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I've heard they call it, right? So a piña in English is pineapple, and that's where the difference is. Is you just said, not everybody will leave the plant to ferment or get better, I guess.
Correct. Mature.
Because they'll cut it right away.
Correct.
And you lose the quality of the tequila, right? Down the way.
You do. An agave shouldn't be harvested. It takes approximately, you will get some at 6 years, but generally on average you're at a 7-year maturation of the agave itself. What that does is, you're starting to notice, because of the demand of tequila in these last number of years, there was a little bit of a shortage of tequila at one point. It's now kind of leveled off, and now agave prices have actually dropped due to the increased supply that's available. But what was happening is a lot of tequileros were having to harvest the agave at 4 years of age, some even at 3 years of age.
Which means they're cutting the piña
They're
early.
cutting the piña early. They're harvesting the agave early. And what that does, it does not allow for the natural maturity of the agave, which is going to create the natural sugar content, which we call in agave, it's called brix, B-R-I-X. They measure the sugar content of the agave by brix. So when you're harvesting something that should be harvested at, let's say, 7 years of age, you want it to be, 40, 42, 43 brix in the sugar content, and you're harvesting it at 3 and 4 years, you're getting a 20, 24, 25, 18 brix measurement in the sugar. What happens? You're having to compensate the flavoring, the natural flavoring of the agave. You're having to compensate it with additives. Right now, if you notice in the tequila world, there's a big push on additive-free tequila. Tequila artesanal, they want it created the old way, the natural way. They don't want additives. And the true tequileros are really looking at additive-free tequila. So it becomes a very important process in taking care of, from the time you plant the agave to when you harvest it to how you're distilling and making the tequila.
And many people say that the additives are what not only changes the flavor but gives you more headaches. It's more impurities and stuff in the I don't know if that's true or not, but sugar obviously is part of it.
I got to say this real quick. On that note, Paul,
Yeah.
my wife, because I never drink, was a little scared that day that I had the 4 shots of tequila.
Right.
And to be honest, even my kids were like, my younger one was like, Dad, are you going to be okay? He was getting a little worried because I never drink, right? Next day, no joke,
No hangover.
I had no hangover. So
the
to the
impurities.
credit of your tequila, I mean, it was smooth. It was delicious. I had no headache the next day. And by the way, it has a really cool light. That you got to see this. It's really cool. I wish we had a bottle here.
I wish we had a bottle here.
Look
too.
at, I said that on purpose because I knew Paul was going to be like, I wish we had one too.
Now I regret. Now I'm going to have to come back
gonna
next
have to
week
come
and
back.
bring some bottles back here and enjoy some tequila.
But yes, great taste and just good quality.
I don't know if that's because of my tequila or you just have a good liver. I don't know which one of the two.
I don't know. Maybe I hadn't tested the liver in a while. I don't know.
No, but we're very proud of our tequila.
Yes.
Both brands. Our Tequila Nuestro Placer, like I said, is our
Yes.
luxury top shelf brand. We're at the Mercado, we're at the Pendry, so we've had some great successes. And then Turincho, which is our Blanco, we're very proud of as well. It's a Blanco I will put up against many Blancos that are out there, and we're very proud of it. There's a lot of good tequilas out there. We're not here to disparage anyone because there are good tequilas in the industry, but we're very proud of the product that we've created. It's all artisanal. We're doing it the right way, if you will. We're fortunate enough, my family in Mexico and my cousin who started the tequila, Edson de Andas, we own the land, we own the agaves, we own the distillery, so we control from land
For A to Z.
planning, harvesting to bottling.
Ever any plans to go into mezcal?
We currently do not use any for mezcal. Not that we can't, and we can't sell. We have a very large inventory of agave plants, which we do
Because
sell.
tequila has to
some
come
other
from a certain
producers.
region, and everything out of that is mezcal.
Correct.
Right?
Tequila itself is a protected product. It's like champagne. You can't call it champagne if it doesn't come from Champagne, France. Well, tequila is the same way. There are a few states that are approved, and then also the municipality must be approved where the tequila is being made, and it must be made by 100% pure Weber Blue agave. There are many species of agave that are made, mezcal, raicilla. There's a lot of other drinks that are used, or the agave is used for, but for tequila, it must be 100% blue agave, Weber blue agave.
Well, and on that note, I also want to make sure that, thank you, Julio, for, I know your tequila is also going to be supporting, again, you mentioned earlier, philanthropy, giving back. Our good friend Andre from the Power One Foundation, who's doing a big mariachi festival July 27th at the Santa Bowl. I know you guys are going to be a part of it, and you're donating proceeds back for their mariachi school, from my understanding. And that's really amazing, because this mariachi school that's going to be launched in Santa Ana is for kids. Obviously, a lot of kids right now are more on their phones, more on their computers, less getting out there. And this mariachi school is to really, get kids to as music therapy, right? This mariachi school. And it's going to be a huge event. We invite everybody to come out. The event in the daytime is free, by the way. But thank you and your tequila, Nuestro Placer Tequila, and your cousins and your family for supporting that event. Because again, you said earlier, as a business owner, it's important we also give back to the community, right?
Absolutely. We're very proud of the relationship that we're building with Andre. And thank you, John, for bringing us to the table. To that. I know you're intimately involved with this event, but we're very proud. It's a local event here in Santa Ana. Yeah. There's nothing been in the Santa Ana Bowl in over 30 years, 35 years.
It's big.
It's been a non-graduation or sporting event. This is the first concert.
Yeah.
And then for it to be a mariachi festival.
Mariachi and tequila.
What more do we want, right?
Tacos, mariachi,
absolutely.
Tequila.
So definitely we're very proud of that relationship and being able to sponsor and partner with Andre and that organization.
And I will say, definitely follow the Tequila's Instagram, because Nuestro Placer Tequila has a really cool Instagram, and you can see all the events and everything they're doing in the community, the philanthropy, the golf charity events. You guys are involved, a lot of fundraisers, and also the bottle is just a really cool bottle. I know that's a big thing in the whole tequila industry. The bottle matters a lot, right?
The bottle matters a lot.
It's a really cool bottle.
Absolutely. We tried to make sure that, first and foremost, that our juice was of highest quality, our tequila. And we did that. And then my cousin decided, I need to make a bottle that truly
it's a really cool bottle,
highlights what we do and who we are. So created a beautiful bottle. Going back to the light, it's a little LED light at the bottom.
It's really cool. It lights up. It's really cool.
And our cap is very unique. It's a see-through cap with the agave.
You got to see it, Paul. You got to see this bottle.
Yeah, and I know, Paul, I did bring a bottle.
Julio, I got 2 empty bottles at my house. I'm going to bring them for you, Paul, so you can see the bottle.
I don't want to see the empty bottle. What does that do?
They're so nice that I haven't thrown away the bottles. I'm recycling them.
See, Paul, so, I was told this was a podcast, not a show and tell event. So I didn't bring a bottle for show and tell.
No worries. Okay, real quick, let's also get into this. You also have your insurance business. You got your Pacific Link. So that's just something you do on the side. Full time.
No, those are my full-time jobs, if you will. That's my bread and butter.
Yes,
I've been an insurance broker for over 25 years, in the mortgage business, for umpteen years as well. So those are my bread and butter. That's mainly.
There's a lot going on with the insurance industry, right?
Right now, it's a very unfortunate time for mainly consumers here in the state of California.
Really?
It hasn't gotten any better. It's very difficult. You yourself look at our car insurance. Look at your premiums, what they've done.
But a lot of it is also because of the fires and all this, right?
Well,
I see a lot of this on the TV.
I think there's a lot of lingering effects from COVID.
Okay.
As far for the insurance companies, the losses that they incurred, the supply chain issues that were being had, and when it comes to the car insurance, right? And there's I don't want to get into the political side of the insurance world, but there's a lot of the state of California is very restrictive in how it allows the insurance companies to operate. So there's a lot of regulations. We won't get into that. But when it comes to property insurance, it has been a big issue with the brush hazard and the fires here in California. And again, the way things are controlled, if you will, by the Department of Insurance, and how the carriers must operate within the state of California, it doesn't become economically feasible for them to operate in the current environment. So unfortunately, a lot of insurance companies in the state of California have now retreated and left the property market, the homeowners market. As many of you will see, especially in this area, we do have a lot of, in Orange County, there's a lot of brush hazard and fire hazard areas. And we have a lot of carriers that are leaving the industry. State Farm has left homeowners in California. Allstate has left homeowners in California. And there are others and many others that are following suit, which leaves us, the consumer, in a very difficult spot because we're left with far and few between those companies that we can find that are willing to insure us. So what does that do? Our prices go up because the supply is not there for us as a consumer, and there's no real competitive market, if you will.
My home insurance doubled. Just doubled for nothing. And I'm stunned it isn't front page news because I hear it happening all over the places. People pull out. And I guess part of it is their contention with the state, and part of it is the cost of repairing everything, replacing everything, and the risks. And so I don't know where we go with this.
I don't want to get political on anything, but I heard a rumor, and I don't know if this is true. Since you're in that industry, you could kind of.
This is where we need the tequila to loosen up a little bit.
Clean up the rumor. I heard that the state is trying to, I guess in a way, push out all the insurance companies, and then they launch their own insurance per se that the state runs or something like that. Is that possibility?
I haven't heard that rumor.
I haven't heard that.
I heard they're trying to squeeze out all the insurance companies.
Nothing would surprise me in today's day and age. But the state of California has what's called the California Fair Plan. So we already have a state-run insurance company, if you will.
That's run by the state?
Correct.
Yeah.
It's called
I didn't know that.
California Fair Plan.
Okay.
So it's a fallback and it's a fail-safe for these specific scenarios where a consumer can't go out and find a policy. For example, Big Bear. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to insure homes in Big Bear.
Really?
Because of the
Because
fire
of all
risk, because of the
and the aging, the forests up there.
correct.
And it's a law, so you need it. It's a must, right?
It's not a law.
For your
if
lender,
you have
you
a
do.
mortgage, the lender requires it by contract.
The lender, right?
Okay, so if you owe money on your property, the lender's going to require it. But if you're a smart consumer and you don't owe any money, you still want it because you have a pretty valuable asset. So California Fair Plan will insure these homes. But it's limited coverage, so you have to get what we call in the industry, it's called a difference in condition policy, which is a wraparound that will cover the things that California Fair Plan won't cover outside of the property or the structure. So there is a fail-safe already in place with California Fair Plan. It's kind of that last resort.
That was supposed to be the last resort. Though. My fear, this is my rumor, is that I think they're headed for a problem with that fund because it's being oversold. I mean, they're adding more and more people to it. It wasn't the purpose to cover everybody. It was just to cover those that couldn't be covered.
Correct. It's a last resort.
Right.
You said it correctly. And unfortunately, right now it's becoming a primary coverage because there's a limited amount of carriers that will sell insurance in the state of California. So unfortunately, we as brokers, and unfortunately, as a consumer, many of them don't understand, and they think it's just us as brokers or agents that we're raising their price. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with us, and the only option we have to turn to many times today is California Fair Plan. Because there aren't other carriers that will insure these properties.
We should come back and talk about that another time because that's a really complex issue and it's affecting most of us. And I don't hear many people.
What do you mean? We went from tequila to insurance.
We're having fun and now we're getting serious.
We do it all
here.
on this show. I mean, come on. 1 minute ago we were talking about tequila in Los Altos de Mexico, and now we're talking about Big Bear and insurance.
Wait till we get into his other businesses.
Yeah. Let's leave those alone, Paul.
No, I mean it goes to show that you diversify, right?
Absolutely. Again, there's pros and cons to all of that, right? Yes. Diversifying, there's an added stress level on having diversification.
Did you hear his voice crack when he said that? That's stress level.
There's a stress level in that diversification, but like I said, I'm good for about 5 years, 7 years in a business, and I need something else to re-energize. And, there's good and bad in that. I will tell you, if it was up to my wife and I should listen to her more, I probably would have stuck to one or two, and that's it. Well,
I was at your house recently.
Yeah.
And I must say, however you're diversifying, it's paying off. Really nice house. I mean, and shout out to your wife. You mentioned.
Thanks all to my wife.
Yeah, shout out to your wife. Who you guys redid your whole house inside, man. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
The tile. I mean,
Thank you.
she's doing some, what is it, interior designing now, right?
You know, she's always had that. She's very creative. She's a hairdresser.
We
so-
should have added that here as a business.
Yeah,
Right?
Interior design.
Added interior design.
Yes.
Not my business. That's her specialty. I'm the.
But it looks
furthest-
great, man. It
Thank
looks
you.
great.
She did an amazing job. She spent a lot of time, and I think she put it together very, very well.
Yeah.
She makes me look good.
But what I'm trying to say is also that's good for you because you need those projects. You like that stuff probably, right? It's another challenge, right? You like to be challenged.
John,
Let's be real.
Quit making things up.
Julio, you like to be challenged. Let's be real.
No, I enjoy the challenge. I don't like the spending of money on construction.
So the next thing is the backyard, right?
Yeah,
of course.
We're gonna hold off a little bit on the backyard.
Julio's like, we need to sell a lot more tequila.
yeah. My my legs trembling over here.
We got to launch some more, tequila bottles out there. Well, what's next for Julio? What do you think, man?
I think there's an airplane coming in a jet.
A jet?
No jet. I learned early on from some mentors it's cheaper to rent them. No, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy, the business part of life and the careers past that I've been involved in and the businesses I've been involved in. I enjoy them a lot. In the insurance and the mortgage world, it's a good thing. I'm able to help my clients, whether it be protect them or get them into a home. I mean, what two better things in life that I'm able to partake in with my clients?
Yeah.
The tequila, it's a fun business.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it's a very difficult business. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I think, get into the world of tequila to try to be cool. And to just say that they have a tequila. But, for me, I'm going to continue down my path. I think I'm good with the businesses I have today, and I don't need another one right now.
Well, I will say that I think you define what an influencer is. I know today there's influencers in social media, all you young people listening. But as far as you're an influencer, meaning, I see how you're well connected with a lot of people in different areas. I mean, for those of you that don't know Julio, I mean, their celebrity golf tournament that they do with the Hispanic 100 is really cool with Emilio Rivera and all these celebrities that attend, right? And so, obviously, you're a people person. You know how to work with, you know how to influence. You're a connector too. You know what I mean? So that's a gift that I say somehow, some way along the way. And again, shout outs to your mom and dad. I know for a fact that at your dad's funeral recently, and sorry for your loss. I heard it was just packed. It was like a full house, right? So it says a lot about not only your father, right, but it says a lot about you and your family, right?
Well, thank you, John.
You know what I mean?
I don't look at myself as an influencer or any of that. I'm just
Well, you're a
I'm just
connector,
me. But
I mean,
I do enjoy people. I'm not that guy that's going to go to the movies and by himself to watch a movie. I'm not going to go to the restaurant. I think that's part of what I wish I did better at and could do, but I enjoy being around people. I enjoy the energy. I enjoy helping, and I enjoy meeting people. And like you said, I do enjoy connecting people. It's nice to be able to help people in need, whether they need a connection for business, politically, a relationship, whatever that looks like. I enjoy being able to be that conduit. To me, that's something that I enjoy doing because it helps everybody at the end.
Yeah. Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to say we got to wrap up here.
Oh, he's giving me we got to go.
We got to go.
I want to say thank you, Julio, for being not only on our show, but also thank you for everything you're doing with the Hispanic 100. And obviously, everything you're doing in the community. We wish you all success. And, we'd love to have you come back. I know Paul wants to talk more about the insurance because there's a lot going on in that industry. But thank you for being here, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much for the invite, John. And Paul, thank you very much. You've got a bottle of tequila coming.
I like it. Okay. That's what I wanted to hear.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. Our community podcast show powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you again next week on Wednesday. And if you have any questions, leave them here on our comments, and we'll get back to you. And we'll connect you with Julio.
Well, there you have it. One more reason, multiple reasons to tune in each and every time to meet our community, the Hispanic business community here in Orange County, powered by the Orange County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Soon to be sponsoring a tequila contest. No, I don't know.